Okay, blessings going out to you, creatures of the universe. Hope you can hear this. Probably should use my headphones, but I've been using them all day. Um, Today I want to talk about forms and roles that we play, and the frames that people put us under that can be very strong. What comes to mind is I was at this bar last night drinking, and this dude was like, he did the Pacific Coast Trail, and he's trying to give everyone trail names. And earlier he was like, the owner of the bar is like, your name, you're Keanu, and I was like, oh, that's pretty good, thanks, man. And then the dude was like, other guy was like, that's your trail name, and I was like, okay. And then earlier in the day we were making a joke about I hadn't been on the lower bunk for a while, and I went onto the bottom bunk today, and I was like, I'm a power bottom, telling that joke from It's Always Sunny about what a power bottom. No one really knows what a power bottom is. And I kept rolling with that, and then he just kept going back to this joke. He like couldn't leave it alone, and he's like, your trail name is power bottom, and I was like, I don't know if I want that to be my trail name. And also we're on the Camino de Santiago, and like, I don't have to accept a trail name. I don't have to let anybody force anything upon me, right? So, and then this other girl, she was talking about how she was scared and like, I don't want to get shanked and raped. And then he's like, that's your trail name. And I was like, these are horrible trail names. Like, it's fine for an evening, but it's like, you don't want to go around Spain saying this out loud. And even this morning he was saying it, and it's like, bro, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. Like, I'm not ready to hear shank and rape. I'm like, I get why people are loud Americans and they're annoying. I felt annoyed myself, actually. But you can catch these people very early on. I saw this person, and it's very apparent when people are going to be like loud talkers, and they're going to be like brazen and annoying. And what's funny is I was that person last night, because I was like drinking and telling jokes and being crazy, right, with the other American people, having a good time, like I do. And then later these women were like, earlier we were eating next to you and we thought you were really annoying, and you sucked as a person. We started talking to them later the night, and they're like, you're actually a really nice person, you're really cool. And then I was like, yeah, I was sad about my ex-girlfriend, and they're like, oh, you're not gay. So they're like trying to push this like gay agenda on me. They're completely shocked that I wasn't gay, because I think they heard me talk bacon power bottom jokes. And then later I was talking to this other autistic girl, and we started talking, and she's like, I think you're autistic. And I was like, I don't think I am. But what's funny is other people have been saying that to me. Other people that don't know me think I'm autistic a little bit, right? So I think I've been tested when I was a kid, but maybe it's come on more later as I've gotten older. But I don't have trouble making friends, and I feel like I don't miss a lot of social cues like that, but maybe I do. Because sometimes when you're on mushrooms, I feel like you can pick up more social cues around you. So I feel like when you use computers a lot and you're coding and you're isolating yourself, you can stop receiving social cues from people as well, that they're trying to fit you under, right? Because social cues glue us together, but also it's like, if you don't pick up on them, it's very confusing to other people, and they kind of like don't want to interact as much. So like for this girl, I saw her earlier, and like she has good energy, right? She has good energy, but it's like a little aloof and like not standoffish, but like like kind of weaving around things. So, but what's funny is like all of that stuff what I said to each of these people is like, those are just labels you're trying to put on me to fit into your idea of what I should be, right? And when they labeled me and I wasn't what they thought I was, or didn't accept their labels, it was you get pushback on that. So if you're not strong in your own identity and self-identity and what you are or what you don't want to be, then it's very easy for people to put labels on you and label themselves and label things around you. So, as I navigate form and what I want to be, it's like I want to be just a pretty good dude, I guess. That's kind of where I'm at right now. It's like be a righteous dude, and the rest kind of falls in place. But it's funny because when I drink, it's like maybe my ego gets bigger, but it's like I become much louder, much brasher, cruder person, right? That's okay too, like there's a time and place for everything. If you're walking through Spain and you're drinking with French dudes and you're like, that was the first person I drank with was this old awesome French guy. You're having a great time chatting in French and Spanish. That's the time to do it too, right? So you always just want to, have the right time and place for what it is. But I think as you drink, you're less socially aware of, it's very easy to get wrapped up in the moment and push things further. And people around you, they're still at their same level of sensitivity, right? But that's okay. As long as you just keep yourself under control and you're not like hurting anybody, I think you're okay, as long as you're not being too obnoxious, too horrible to everybody else. Yeah, everyone has these forms, and as you unravel them and you have all these labels for yourself, and people act differently around other people too. So we have our own forms, and then the people around us, their perception of us can change us too, right? Through social cues, just through like their sheer will, right? There's some very strong people in the world, and there's some other people that take forms very easily from other people on social cues and things like that. So, what little church bells ringing? So I think it's, stay strong in your form when you want to have a form, and then other times be formless. I guess that's the way I would think about it. And as long as you can navigate, because sometimes you can accept the forms that people want to put upon you, right? As long as you're conscious that you know that what they're saying to you doesn't define who you are, right? The more you define yourself, the harder it is to break out of those things. Because if you define yourself, I'm this, I'm that, then when you are not that anymore, you have this tension, right? So I'm really want to embrace defining myself more and maybe saying less about myself in general. But last night was, when I drink, it gets fun. I'm not like a mean drunk most of the time, but I'm definitely a dirty drunk, right? I'll tell dirty jokes, but I think that's still part of the spiritual process, because it's all about contrast in life. If you can never cut loose a little bit sometimes, then you never get the alarm bells coming at you. So like last night when these women were like, oh, you said you're like really obnoxious. I'm like, okay, that's an alarm bell for myself, right? So I think today I don't want to drink anything, and maybe tomorrow I'm not going to drink anything either. And it's not because I don't want to drink or I feel like I don't have to. It's just because I want to challenge myself to not do it. And maybe I am autistic because I feel like my social battery was like shot through the roof last night, right? Because you're talking and the whole table's going crazy, and now I'm like, I'm good on hanging out with people for a little bit, and I'm just embracing myself and the individuality that I have. So yeah, it's funny when you come back to your own self and you have your labels for yourself. I think when you're on psychedelics, those definitely drop away, but you can drop them yourself too. With um, it's hard to consciously not be the observer for your own self and hold up these like ideas of ourselves of who we are and how we operate and like our defined patterns and our neural pathways. But I think the best thing to do is just like stay open to the moment and be what you can be at that time, at that junction. So yeah, it was just like a really interesting um, afternoon where a lot of forms were being pushed on me, and a lot of people's expectations of who I was not what they thought. And we just really never know how people are thinking about ourselves, right? I was actually, the most thing that was shocking the most was like, um, there was so much discussion about my labels and my identity that it like dominated the conversation for so long. And I was like, I don't know why this is so confusing or exciting to people, but maybe I like the attention, I don't know. But I was just trying to like get down to the bottom of just being who I am. But yeah, and it was a very big contrast to the night where I first got here in France, where I didn't speak the language and I didn't really talk to anybody. I just sat by myself and ate dinner, and they didn't even bring me my wine. I like ordered local wine and they forgot about me. So, every day can be a different form that you take on, and like that was a pretty formless night. Like I think there's something about being a guy traveling when you're just by yourself. It's like I'm kind of like a generic looking guy, so I like blend in with the background. Like just random tourist guy, number 20. And it's funny because it's like if you try to be ignored, then people focus on you. If you're like wearing a hat and glasses and trying to like stay inconspicuous, but if you're not, most people just look at you and like cruise right on by. So yeah, it's really great. But maybe I'm gonna go check out a cathedral now and cruise to find somewhere to stay. And I hope blessings be to you all. And I'm gonna keeping on that dusty road, and had a good day listening to some bluegrass and hiking and cruising my way through Spain, baby. So stay up and stay lovely, and many blessings to you. Whoever is listening to this, maybe it's me in the future. So I hope you're doing good, my friend. Do good things for yourself, and good things will follow. Namaste.